ComicWow.
Hey everybody, this is John Q with ComicWow TV, and today we have two special guests with us. We have John K. Snyder III and Matt Wagner. Gentlemen, if I can ask you, well, for one, I want to say thank you both for taking your time, taking a few minutes out of your busy days. And I'd like to say, I'd like to ask you, I hear you both are working on something together. Can we start there? Is that all right?
Yes.
Tell us what you're working on.
Okay, Matt and I are working together on Zorro Rides Again for Dynamite Comics. I'm working with Matt on the last leg of this current series, which ran 12 issues. I'm penciling and inking issues 7 through 12.
Okay.
And working with Matt, this is my third outing with Matt, having worked with him on Grendel and also on Dr. Midnight. And that's what we've been working on. Just finished up the last issue, which will be out shortly.
So what is, with Zorro Rides Again, what is your part and what is your part?
Well, I've worked on Zorro now for 32 issues.
Okay.
Dynamite got the rights to Zorro, and we wanted to give it a reboot for a contemporary audience. Not bringing it into a contemporary world, but just slightly more contemporary approach to the classic character. Zorro dates back to 1919. He's one of the first American masked adventure heroes. So I was thrilled to be able to try and give it this new punchy approach. And to really, you know, our industry's so full of dark heroes. Here's a guy that wears dark clothes, but he's a really, truly good guy. And his rallying cry is justice, justice for all. So I've done now, this is the 5th story arc. And that I decided at that point that I had pretty much done everything I wanted to do with the character. It's definitely open to continue the adventures of Zorro for ad infinitum. But it was really great to be able to finish that with John because, again, as he said, we've had such a history of collaboration together. And this introduces a whole new character, Lady Zorro, who is somebody that's inspired by Zorro's actions and kind of takes a darker approach to the whole masked Avengers sort of approach than Zorro himself does. And he has to deal with, A, have I inspired something that I never intended to, and B, how do I deal with this situation? And John designed the whole, you know, I kind of created the character of Lady Zorro. John completely designed her look. And the work has really been phenomenal. I mean, it's John has just a terrific visual style, and it's dynamic and energetic, and yet still also very classical in its drawing approach, and couldn't be happier with it. Fantastic.
When can we see this?
Well, the first 5 of those 6 issues are out.
Oh, great.
The finale is just getting ready to come out. Like John said, he just wrapped up the art just before he came to the show here.
Oh, really?
So it's like, hit the deadline, hit the train.
That's even better than
yes, yeah.
Outstanding. What are you guys, either together or separately, what do you guys have up your sleeve for all of us? I'm sure you guys are working on quite a few things, but can you give us here at ComicWow just a little bit before anybody else knows?
I'll go first.
Sure, go ahead. Yep.
I'm actually, I've got a couple of things that I currently are in development, and I really can't talk about it right now. But
not even a hint?
Not
even
not
just
quite
a
yet.
tad
No,
of a hint?
It's hard to say. The Hollywood thing has kind of infected. Where I really can't quite say at the moment, but I'll let you know as soon as I.
All right, you promise we can be the first?
Absolutely.
All right, we will keep in touch with you. And for you, Matt, what do you have?
Well, mine is out in the open, and it's Hollywoody. I'm currently working with the newly launched Legendary Comics, which is the new comic book division of Hollywood powerhouse Legendary Pictures. Legendary viewers will know Legendary Pictures. They produced Batman Begins, Dark Knight Rises, Watchmen, 300, both the Hangover movies, Where the Wild Things Are, Superman Returns, the upcoming Man of Steel. These guys are a big deal. And they decided they wanted to launch a comic book company to help develop in-house ideas, to develop IP, to hopefully launch into further media. So I was approached with this opportunity by my ex-brother-in-law and old comrade-in-arms, Bob Schreck, who's now the editor-in-chief there. The guy that owns Legendary Pictures, Thomas Tull, had an idea for a character. He wanted Bob to find him a writer that could handle this specific type of subject matter and also wouldn't be afraid to tell the boss when his ideas were not so good. And Bob said, I got just the guy. So they flew me down to Burbank. We hit it off right away. And yes, I said to him, no, we can't do that part. That's been done. Let's do it this way instead. everything really clicked. It's now turned into a very large project. Ultimately, it'll be a trilogy totaling over 800 pages.
And who would the character be based on?
The collective title is called The Tower Chronicles.
Okay.
Follows the adventures of a character named John Tower. He's a supernatural bounty hunter whose past is very dark and mysterious, and we don't know why he does what he does. Little by little, as this vast story unwinds, the layers of his aloof personality peel back, and we get the true story of his background, why he's out hunting monsters all the time. It's being drawn by the fabulous British artist Simon Bisley. It will be serialized. Like I said, there's 3 books. Each is a total of about 280 pages. It's serialized as 4 prestige-sized comics. So each volume is about 64 pages. We're well into production. I've finished book 2, so I'm 500-plus pages in. The artist is over 200-plus pages in. Great. So unlike a lot of projects that launch new, this is the sort of thing that once the first issue comes out, the train's going to hit the station on time every time, and readers, I think, will be really delighted with it.
Can't wait. When can maybe we possibly expect to see a little bit?
It ships in 2 weeks.
2 weeks?
2 weeks from now.
2 weeks. It'll be there.
September 26th.
September 26th, to be exact. Let me ask John,
yes.
Social media, this is going to be a question for both of you, but John,
okay.
if you could, how has social media itself, with the explosion of it, how's that helped you get across what you're doing?
It's kind of hard to describe. In what way?
Like the Twitters and the Facebooks and us at ComicWow.
How has
that helped to get the word out of what you do?
Oh, it's a good question. I could answer it very thoroughly for quite a long period of time, to be honest with you, because it's to me it's a constantly evolving the state of social media. So it's helpful in that you can communicate very quickly, a new product. As soon as you have a piece finished and scanned and presented and finished and ready for print, you can get out advanced preview, like with Dynamite, with Zorro, right before each issue comes out. We have a 5-page preview of each issue. That's readily available. So in the past, when I would say to somebody, when somebody would ask me, well, what's the latest issue of Zorro going to look like? I can say, well, just go on the net, and from a variety of sites, including your own, you could see perhaps a 5-page preview of the upcoming issue. And in the past, that would be so difficult, to convey that. And now it's just a touch
you'd have
away.
To load colored Xerox copies around every con you went to,
Exactly.
Yeah, and you really couldn't show anybody,
exactly,
which was the worst. And for you, Matt, how's it helped you?
I'm truly not much of a social media guy, but Legendary is handling this very, very well. They, of course, are such a multimedia company. Leading up to the release of the first book here, I think on both their Facebook and their Twitter, they are every week releasing a new little nugget of information about John Tower, the mysterious John Tower, and some of the weapons he uses and some of the creatures he confronts. And so, that's just kind of this terrific treasure trail leading to the ultimate story. And it just builds buzz and it builds interest, and hopefully that'll pay off.
That's great. Gentlemen, and the last question I want to finish up with is Baltimore Comic Con. What do you think of our Baltimore Comic Con?
I think Baltimore Comic Con, I've attended here every year. I think it's one of the best shows on the East Coast and West, and I just think it's a wonderful show. It continues to grow. I can't have enough good things to say about it.
We appreciate that.
Yeah.
Matt, for you?
John's been here since the very first one. I think I started on the third one, when it was still just in one little hotel room.
Yeah.
A hotel meeting room, But then they graduated up to the convention center, and I remember very early on, Sunday night after the show was over, being out for drinks with the owner and organizer, Mark Nathan, and we had a long talk, and he swore to me, he said, this show is always going to be about comics. It's not going to be about movies, it's not going to be about TV shows, we're not going to have wrestlers and playmates and that sort of thing, and he has stayed true to his word, and it really shows the fact that the excitement and interest of comics is absolutely vital.
Absolutely. And gentlemen, John, I want to say very nice to meet you, and thank you very much. Matt, as well.
Thank
you very much. This is John Q with ComicWow TV. Thank you.